Started.
Hi, my name is Alexander Ortiz,
I'm Jacqueline Pedraza.
I'm Jesus Perez.
Isaac Dahmer.
and this is DDT in Texas.
On the agenda, we're going to start with how it originated, then pros and cons, then possible solutions, and finally, we're going to end with the conclusion.
So originally, Ottmar Ziedler would be the first to synthesize DDT, an Austrian chemist, in the year 1874, but it wouldn't be put into practice until Paul Hermann Mueller would be the one to put it into practice, using it during the second half of World War II, and would win a Nobel Prize for it. As stated, to control the spread of insect-borne diseases, the way that it was used would be similar to an aerosol spray. So it'd be sprayed in indoor surfaces, any indoor environment. That's how it would be used commercially. After seeing its effectiveness on stopping the spread of insect-borne diseases, it would be made available for agricultural use in 1945. Lastly, due to its effectiveness, it was seen as a miracle product with little to no known downsides with it. However, there's still some skepticism for it. On the picture on the left, you can see it being sprayed on crowds in the beach, and the picture on the right, you can see it being used in the agricultural sense. And now a little video will be played to help illustrate that.
Medical aspects say buildings treated with DDT remain effective against mosquitoes for about 3 months. The Africans are not very impressed. Some are afraid that the DDT will poison them, while others suspect some sort of witchcraft. The entomologist calls for a bowl of porridge.
So in that video, you could see it being used and how people saw it as a miracle product, how it was eaten in front of people, and he was trying to convince them to use it on their crops. But with the skepticism it had, they didn't believe him.
Now, to start with the pros, number one, it's very inexpensive to manufacture. For two, it prevents insect-borne diseases such as malaria. And three, it lasts a long time in the environment. The reason why I put this as a pro instead of a con is because it goes hand in hand with the inexpensive to manufacture. If you're not having to constantly spray DDT, you're not having to pay for more and more. As for the cons, it causes bioaccumulation, which is when a single organism collects DDT over time by itself, and biomagnification, which is when the top predator eats the smaller prey that have the built up DDT inside them and they end up dying. For human symptoms, it can cause vomiting, tremors, seizures, and sometimes even in very serious cases, cancer. And lastly, it is very insoluble in water. Now, these two pictures here are just examples of them using it on people and kids to combat the airborne diseases. And I'm going to show a little clip here, which is another example of them spraying it on children and people just in public.
Nature is built of a series of interrelationships between living things and their environment.
So, how it affected Texas? Texas had only 4 nesting pairs of birds because of the pesticide DDT, which made eggshells so thin that mama birds accidentally cracked them when they sat on nests. The DDT in Texas affected chemical residue in mother's milk, making it harmful to nurse offspring.
In which I will get to possible solutions, but to add on, this is why Rachel Carson made Silent Springs to bring awareness to DDT and pesticide. Uh, Basically creating these organizations and these how would I say it? How would I say it? These acts to where it decreases or take away completely DDT and pesticide. And the possible solutions is no solution. So it's a weird answer because DDT has been banned since 1972. Since the effect of DDT entered the food chain and accumulated like fatty tissues of animals, including human beings, that could cause cancer and genetic damage. But it can also do more health problems such as nausea, dizziness, and it's just not good for the human population nor animals. Uh, Pesticide, on the other hand, is used to this day. Each year, the United States uses about 1 billion pounds of pesticide to manage weed, insects, and other pests as they use in agriculture. So, what could be the solution? Or I would advise, I mean, when doing research, it's extremely hard to regulate pesticide unless advised by the government, or to do more labor intensive tasks as in hand weeding, mulching, or trapping animals, or or reducing chemical use outside. But I could offer a clear remedy that's washing your food and purchasing organic items, which are more expensive, but it gives you a greater sense of safety while consuming food. And also, there's other forms of DDT as well. I need to. There's also other forms of DDT that's not DDT since it's banned. It could be in powder form, spray form. I need to figure out what had this for. And it's under these trade names like Anafex, Caesarax, uh, Dico, Dicofene, Dinoside, and all these, all these other, all these other, all these other brands. But yeah, and in Texas, more than 200 chemical manufacturing plants across the United States, that include Texas among the Gulf Coast, has been required to reduce toxic emissions under the new Environmental Protection Agency. That's one of the um agencies that was inspired by Rachel Carson to decrease pesticide use.
In conclusion, while DDT initially provided significant benefits in disease control, its widespread use led to profound environmental and health consequences, ultimately resulting in its ban in many countries. The case of DDT highlights the importance of considering the long-term impacts of chemical pesticides on ecosystem and human health, and the need for sustainable and integrated approaches to pest management.
These are our references. And one more thing, in Texas since 2013, the Texas Department of Agriculture has received approximately 1,300 or more complaints related to pesticide drift. And pesticide drift is basically when the movement of pesticide dust or droplets through the air at a time or applications or soon after. Basically, that means it spread when the sprays are when they spray our crops is being spread into the air and possibly going to other areas of Texas, which is affecting not just it's affecting every living being. Thank you.
Thank you.